Hey, everybody, we're here for a new episode of the show that is yet to be named. We're in October, Spooktober, the spooky season, ghouls and ghosts, Scooby Doo. I'm here with Johnny Donuts, Johnny Ghoul 777, and I'm here with Ghoulie Man, the Puttyman. Oh, don't make the face. I wish I never said it. Puttyman here. Ghoulies. Shout out to Ghoulies.
He does look like the Ghoulies.
Yeah, right? Putty's like, what? Okay, so this episode is going to be about, I wanted it to be about paranormal stuff, but Putty made it really confusing. So it's paranormal movies. So I tried to keep my list focused on ghosts and like haunting.
Oh, I still did
stuff of that nature. Like demonic type of stuff is still counted in that. So like you might see some little things here and there, but I mean, we're going to let it be a little bit broad. Because
I think mine are mostly hauntings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I mean, some of them could be iffy on mine, but like I'll take it how it is. I was gonna say octagonal order. So let's go with our top 5 here. Putty, you can kick it off.
All right, my number 5, and you're gonna see a common thread twice on this about this. Is my number 5 is a Hong Kong movie called The Eye, not the American version, the Hong Kong version.
Well, I hope it's not the American version, the one with Jessica Alba.
Yeah, even though I did go see it in theaters because I was excited for her to be in it, and I was like, man,
of course you are.
Luckily she's hot. That's all there is to
it. My number 5 is actually a Caps. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's a tie between The Frighteners and The Others.
Others goes off my own mention now.
The Frighteners is going to show up on another list. That is a good choice. My number 5 is a Caps. The Sixth Sense and The Others.
Okay, Sixth Sense off my HMs. All right. My number 4 is Paranormal Activity.
My number 4 is The Sixth Sense. Sorry, I got lost for a second there. I see dead people, but it's The Sixth Sense.
All right. My number 4 is, I don't know what you want to call this. Okay, it is caps, but it could be like quadruple caps. It's The Ring and Ringu / The Grudge and Ju-on.
That's funny.
Because I think you can't have one without the other between the Japanese and American version. And
well, I
agree.
I'd rather have the Japanese version, but we'll get into that later.
I wouldn't. Putty.
Oh, my bad. My number 3 is the Babadook. I didn't know whether he's a demon or not. I think it's a ghost. That's why I counted him. I think, yeah. So the Babadook is my number 3.
My number 3 is The Conjuring, the first one.
Right. That I put them on mentions only because I didn't know that kind of goes in the same thing as another movie that I didn't put on my list, but I wanted to. So
my number 3 is Caps. This one is actually Caps. Insidious 1 and 2.
See, oh, man, those have a demon in it, so I was kind of like, anyway.
Yeah, but it's all centered around the haunting of a family.
Yeah,
I know, but they're haunted by.
But they're also there's also the ghost of the bride.
But that's where this is my point of just clarifying here of where demons count. Like to me, like if it's just a full on movie about a demon the whole time, like Sinister. I don't hope none of you have Sinister. That is like a demon movie to me.
No,
if it's a movie about a possession and the whole movie is only about that one single situation, to me that doesn't count. But like I said, we brought in the list to allow for easier access.
It's funny too because I feel like you brought in the list for me, but I actually went totally no demons in this. I tried so hard to make sure I did.
So did I.
Yeah. So I guess my number 2.
I think
Okay, so then my number 2 is what you said earlier, but I don't count The Ring. It's Ringu combined with Ju-on the Grudge. Both of the movies, not the American versions. I saw both of these movies actually before the American ones came out and loved them. That when I saw the American versions, I feel like they weren't as good. But
I promise you that's not how it happened.
What about the most recent one of The Grudge? Wasn't there a more recent one?
No.
We don't talk about that. You
never talk about anything after the first ones.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2 has nothing to do with that. Mine is The Woman in Black.
All right.
A little Daniel Radcliffe. That one too. I want to see that. I haven't seen it yet.
My number 2 is The Conjuring.
Okay. And then my number 1, it's a classic. I feel like it was the best ghost movie when I was younger, and that's Poltergeist.
That's fair.
Which is funny because my number one is Poltergeist as well.
Which is funny because mine is not Poltergeist, it's The Shining.
Okay, I put The Shining on Montrose. That was the one I had problems with because of the demon thing.
Well, hold on. We're going to get into
so
conversations now, only because I don't want to hear you talk.
Well, I didn't put The Shining because The Shining is going to be on another list.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm fair enough to split them up. So the way that we're going to do this, we'll go back through the list here, and then if that's all you came for, So I'll go through mine first. At 5, I have Sixth Sense tied with the others. At number 4, I have The Ring, Ringu tied with Grudge, Ju-on. Number 3, I have Insidious 1 and 2. Number 2, I have The Conjuring. Number 1, I have The Shining.
All right. My number 5 is tied between The Frighteners and the others. My number 4 is Sixth Sense. Number 3 is The Conjuring. Number 2 is The Woman in Black. And number 1 is Poltergeist.
And for me, number 5 is the Hong Kong version. Number 4 is Paranormal Activity. Number 3 is the Babadook. Number 2 is a cap between Ringu and Ju-on. And number 1 is Poltergeist.
All right, so if you just came for the list as the list, I go, on here now we're going to talk about some movies. So this is my thought process here. I'm very glad that no one picked The Exorcist because to me that's like demon to me.
That's a possession movie.
Anything about possession is demons.
Yeah, but I kind of felt like what's his name in The Shining was possessed too. That's
The Shining is he's being like mentally attacked by like these ghosts that want him to like.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's more of a descent into madness kind of thing.
And it's caused
as
by
being
the hauntings.
Possessed.
The hauntings are targeting him. The ghosts in the hotel are targeting him to use him for something. They want him to kill his family. To like it's very loose on the actual meaning of The Shining. Let's just get that through first of all. But there's multiple ghosts. And my thing is they want him to kill his family because they're going to gain power through him killing his family. And that's what they want because they only get to eat during this one time of the year when it's closed, where they hire a new caretaker every single time who kills his family. But Jack,
that's like going into the book. Yeah.
Let's see. I agree with JD. There's another reason why I was okay not putting Shining on this list because it's going on another list.
Yeah, but for me, that's not on my channel. So, another list.
He don't care.
I could care less. Yes. I almost had like multiple movies on the same list today. But I think it's fair to me. The only one out of all of these where like you guys are saying my Shining is, for me, from your two guys list, it's just the Babadook. I think you didn't have any, JD.
No, I had none. Mine all revolve around some sort of ghost or haunting.
With too, though, but that was because I didn't know what the Babadook
was.
But
I do agree it's a very good movie, and I originally had both the Babadook and the Frighteners on my list at number 5. I took Frighteners off because I want to save it for a comedy list if we do horror comedy stuff.
That's kind of why I was thinking.
And the Babadook, just when I really thought about it, it felt like Sinister, where it's all centered around this one demon that has like a sole job of doing this.
But I didn't think it was really a demon. I thought it was more of a ghost.
It's kind of like a monster, to be honest with you.
Okay, here's a movie I'm going to throw out there. What about a movie like The Dybbuk Box?
I mean, that's kind of demon, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what's hard because, like, for example, let's throw some.
It's a fine line, I'm guessing.
Okay, so like one that they kept putting out there, which if either of you have this on your honorable mentions, I'm not obviously going to be mad. But Candyman is not a movie about ghosts.
I didn't
put it pops up on everybody's list about ghosts. I get it that he's like a spirit, but it's a slasher movie. It's a full-on slasher movie, without a doubt.
But one that I didn't see much on list, or maybe I did, and I just didn't realize it, was 13 Ghosts, because I think they have demons in it. That's why it's in my honorable mention.
Well, 13 Ghosts
is about ghosts.
It's about no, but listen, it's not that good of a movie, but I like it.
No. Actually, I like the remake one better, and I know a lot of people hated it. But
there's a remake.
The one they made in the 90s.
Oh, with Shannon Elizabeth. That's the one I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
no, there's an old black and white.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about.
But I actually like the
Ghost Ship.
Elizabeth. Like
I have Ghost Ship on my list because that's where that's funny that's where I was going with this. That he brought up 13 Ghosts, which is not really a good movie, but I like it. Same with Ghost Ship. There's just something about it. Ghost Ship has a really good atmosphere and vibe to it, but it's just really poorly executed on everything else.
Actually, here's the thing. When I saw Ghost Ship in theaters, just like I did 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts, I would say the ending sucks, but I liked the lead up to the ending. Honestly, Ghost Ship, the only part I like is literally the beginning part. The whole part with that wire and everything. That was a sick part that I was like, oh, like it shocked me. Then the rest of the movie doesn't even show that shock value as much as it did in that beginning scene.
So what about this one? So oh crap, so when I was a kid, there was two movies that came out back to back, and we went to, I think me and my friends watched both of them, and neither one of them ended up being scary. It was House on Haunted Hill,
the Liam Neeson one. Yeah.
Yeah, and The Haunting with Owen Wilson and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No, I will say I did put the House on Haunted Hill
ghost over there.
Not because
Wow.
it was scary, but I liked the special effects.
The original House on Haunted Hill is better.
No, I agree, but I like the special
that's
effects
Vincent Price, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
It's just,
But okay, in the honorable mentions section, we can have fun. So, okay, I'll give you my two real honorable mentions. Is 1408.
That's on mine.
That's on mine too.
And Poltergeist. It was a tie. I couldn't choose between them, but those were my two that were so close to the list. I was arguing with myself, but I didn't grow up with Poltergeist.
Yeah.
So I don't have that attachment to it, but I do recognize it as being an important movie, and I do like it.
No,
Coach in that movie.
It's PG.
Yeah,
you have It's PG.
I know,
pulled off
still,
a PG. Isn't that crazy what they were able to pull off without having like a hard R? Imagine if that movie was a hard R.
They cut the movie to, didn't they cut the movie to get a PG rating or something like that?
Yeah, wasn't it Spielberg? Isn't Spielberg the one who made the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, my honorable mention that came close to the list are a couple. It's Insidious is one of them, and Oculus was another one.
I've not seen Oculus, and I want to.
I haven't seen Oculus, but I hear weird things about it.
It's a very strange movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it's not a good movie.
It's just a strange movie.
A weird. It takes a couple turns, and you're like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah. Putty, you got one you want to give us?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But these are the two that were kind of like I couldn't distinguish, and I was having trouble with, and that was the Amityville Horror and of course the Shining. The Amityville Horror is like it's a haunted house, right? But
yes, haunted house to me is just haunted house is paranormal.
But that's my point, though. Like, but isn't it demons that are haunting it? So that's where I started having trouble and sent you the message. So I was like, okay, because I'm afraid you're going to do a demon list, and honestly, I feel like Amityville Horror.
Okay, well, there's demons, there's possession, and there's haunting, right?
Amityville is totally about a haunted house, and every haunted house movie that came out after the original one is completely ripped off from that.
Of course,
but Amityville is based on the events of the Conjuring movies.
I know.
Yes, but that's which one? The second one? Oh no, the third one.
The first one.
The first one.
I believe the first one. So the Lorraine and Ed Warren's thing is what Amityville is based on.
Which they're very interesting, but I heard they're very manipulative people too. So that's almost.
I mean, it is what it is, right? But I mean, we're not going to get too deep into that. So another one that I had on my list, which Putty has kind of, which I was kind of iffy on where we were going with it, was The Ring, because it's about like what would you call it? It's kind of about a demon, but she's technically like a ghost.
Yeah,
and it is haunting you. The thing is haunting you.
It's trapped in limbo or something like that. It needs to be released, right? It needs to be.
Yeah, because online, if you actually look, in Japan, they call it a water ghost. So that's why I was like, where does the line cross?
Yes, they haunt wells.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the same thing with Ju-on. Like apparently, and their demons look like ghosts, and their ghosts look like demons, but are considered ghosts. Well, and again, that was another reason why.
If you really like. Maybe not so much the Japanese ones. The Japanese ones are better, but I feel like The Ring is still a really good movie. And on pure like just horror factor, I think The Grudge is good. I don't think it's a good movie, but I think what it does as just a horror part is pretty solid, and it's more ghosty than Ju-on is. The American Grudge is way more ghosty.
Let me show you the example of why Ringu for me and Ring is different. Is because I remember when me and my ex-girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, when we were watching this movie, we saw it before Ring because we were seeing a lot of like foreign films. She was big into it, and I was the one that found Ringu, and I go, "What the heck is this?" And the guy at the video store was like, "Dude, you need to watch it." I'm like, "Okay." We went home, we watched it. She literally unplugged the TV and turned it around and said, "I don't want the TV on the whole night." Well, then Ring came out, all right, and she would not watch it with me. I went and saw it by myself. But then I saw it later with her, and she said herself it doesn't feel as scary as Ringu. Maybe it's because we experienced Ringu first, but I'll be honest with you, I actually felt Ringu was much scarier in the Ring. Not saying I didn't love the Ring, but that's the reason why I felt it didn't deserve to be on the list. While Ju-on had something different that in the same realm of Ringu. You know what I mean? So,
like I said, The Grudge feels more like a haunting type movie. Where you're right, Ju-on kind of feels demony.
Mm-hmm.
Ringu is a scarier movie, but I think The Ring is a much better made movie. It has better acting, it has better writing, it looks better. It's not as scary though. I 100% agree with you, but that's why I feel like I might as well put them all together. Like I'm not losing anything. I'm just putting more movies on my list in a cheating way. So I mean, so we'll go back into like more just shouting out movies now that we've talked about our good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you one. It's Lights Out with Teresa Palmer. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where whenever the lights go out, the ghosts move and you turn it back on. It's like the episode of Doctor Who with the angels.
Yes, the weeping angels.
Whenever you're not looking at them, they come closer to you.
The first episode was called Blink. So where if you're not looking at them,
it's a pretty good movie. I recommend it. It's actually like it caught me off guard. It's one of Blumhouse's first big hits, and it's pretty good every time.
But they got a new one out now too.
They end up
Bingo Hell.
Yeah, they end up just like living in a big in their house, like with all kinds of lights on all the time, because every time the light goes out, the ghost gets closer to them. So it's like I actually liked it.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I don't want to spoil it, so I'll ask you first. Have you either one of you guys seen The Nighthouse?
The Nighthouse?
It's in theaters right now. I literally did a review on it and everything, and it tends to Halloween. And it's one of those movies where I'm also kind of like trying to figure out if it would be more of a haunted house movie as well. You know what I mean? And I can't say anything without bringing spoilers. So basically, I kind of want you guys to be able to see it. So it's something that it deals with a house, but in a different situation. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to, there's a common line, and I was trying to figure out if that would also go on this list, but then I couldn't say anything because I didn't know if you guys had seen it or not, you know what I mean? So that was where I was kind of sitting in the realm. So anybody in the comments, if you can, tell me if you've seen The Nighthouse. Do not spoil anything for Campo or JD here, but would you consider that a haunted house movie? I'm kind of curious if somebody else to take on it.
Okay, well, I'm just like reading, and it seems like it's less of a ghost movie just from reading it. Is there like a twist? Okay. You don't have to tell me what happens, but is there a twist where it stops being whatever it looks like I'm reading?
It's like multiple things. It's hard to explain.
Okay, so I'll watch it. I'll just watch it.
It's one of those things where you have to fill in your own blanks at the end. Does that make sense? Like where you're like, okay, it's so hard to explain it out. Yeah.
Okay, okay, so let's go, JG. Throw us out one.
Okay, I was gonna say, which nobody's mentioned yet, is the Paranormal Activity series.
Well,
that's definitely. Oh, did you? You had one? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I missed that. Yeah. But those movies just progressively got worse as they went on.
Yeah, I just put the first one. I didn't.
The first one was great.
Listen. I don't know which number it is. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I think it might be the last one that they made, where it ends up being the prequel, but you don't know it until the very end of the movie. That one is like pretty cool.
I think that is the most recent one. Yes.
Yeah, where it's like the Spanish family and they live in the same house, and then you find out at the end that like it all like links together, because you're like wondering the whole time, where is this movie going? It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
and then at the end, it ties it all together. Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's the whole situation. I want to say about another thing. I was actually looking up the Blair Witch. So I was like, is this a ghost movie?
I don't think that counts as a ghost. It's literally called the Blair Witch.
Yeah. So I was like, it's a witch movie. But then I want to say this, and I get a lot of slack when I say this. The second Blair Witch movie.
I will slap you.
Listen.
Through the screen, he'll just...
as soon as I heard, I knew it was coming. I was already prepared.
Because here's the thing. I didn't like them. I liked the first movie for the hidden stuff. They call it the S-server, where they did the whole reverse thing, and you can actually see stuff in the background, stuff that's hidden. When I found out about that, it made me more interested in the movie because they added little things like that. And if you go back and watch that movie and look at certain doors and certain things, you see things like the children that got killed from rust and all this stuff. It actually adds lore in the background, like the girl that's sitting at the graveyard.
Wait, are you talking about the second movie?
Yeah, the second movie.
I've never watched. To be honest, I've never watched any of them. I've never
not-
seen
it's
any.
not that-
I've
it's
never
not
had
that-
an interest in any of the Blair Witch films.
See, it's not that good of a movie, but then when you actually start looking for the other stuff, it brings a more creepy factor. Like, holy crap, that was there the whole time. Like, and that's what I loved about it. So if you ever get a chance, Camp, I know you don't like it, but go back, look up the Ezra, what they call the word reverse backwards, and they show you a bunch of stuff they contain. So it does suck, but you know what? Because of that, it gave it a little more fun thing to me, honestly. It made it a little bit better. But I like when movies do that. Sometimes a lot of movies don't have that inventiveness, and that one actually did.
Well, that's
It
the thing
wasn't
about
great.
these lists. It's all opinions. Opinions are subjective.
Yeah, but
exactly.
the difference is my opinions are right.
Whatever.
Okay, so I'm gonna say one.
Sure.
Hide and Seek with Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning.
I've never seen that one.
It's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like
I got it.
You would think it's
Yeah.
worse.
I got one too. What Lies Beneath?
You're
Yeah.
talking some, but is that a ghost?
See, that's
Is
that's
it though, or
not-
is it more of a
that's not one.
possession? I don't know.
It's kind of
See,
a
that's-
weird one.
Yeah,
But are you talking the original or are you talking Harrison Ford?
I'm
I was
talking
thinking
Harrison Ford.
Okay.
I never watched the original. It's been too long since I've watched it. But I just
Buddy,
start to
you got
suspect
another one?
something. Who? Your wife?
No, you already.
Why?
You guys actually went through all the ones I've gone through. 1408. We said we
Yeah.
hinted upon.
That's
it.
an underrated film, I think,
I
too.
agree.
1408.
100%. Such a great film.
It's
Give me
so underappreciated. Like the build up at the beginning before anything even happens, it takes so long of constantly warning this guy, and like it got to me. Like I was legitimately scared. I was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck is gonna happen right now?"
I was.
I
actually
remember once I was going to New York and they gave me the hotel room was 1408. I said, nope, I don't want that room.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they give
That's
you another
crazy.
room?
Yep, they did.
See, now here's the thing. I was actually mad at myself because I heard people saying 1408 wasn't good, so I skipped on seeing in theaters. Kind of like the whole Dark Tower.
Well, it
which I
gets a bit
understand now.
weird. It gets a bit
Yeah.
weird.
Well, no, but I actually really enjoyed it, and that was one of those movies that when I saw it later on, like I'm just gonna watch it now. Like sometimes you don't listen to people like screw it. I really still want to see this. I hate myself for not seeing it in theaters now. Like I feel like I would have enjoyed that movie way more in theaters. seeing
Yeah,
when originally
it
came out
definitely-
than yeah.
For me, it was like I just bought a cheap copy of Blockbuster. I watched it and it's like, hey, that's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Glad I spent that $4.99.
Okay. Well, we talked about Amityville Horror. I think I actually even like the Ryan Reynolds one.
I
but-
actually forgot it though. I'll be honest with you, but I still liked it.
Conjuring 2 is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing them out. Mama. Have no one seen Mama?
Yes, I've
That
seen
is-
Mama.
That is a pretty scary movie.
I will say
Yes.
this: the whole Conjuring series, including all the ones where they have like the possessions and all that kind of stuff, those right there, I was always in my brain leading more toward demon and possession than ghost. So it's like for some reason, I feel like that family, their stories about what's their name, the lady and the guy, that whole series,
The Warrens.
the Warrens. You can make a list yourself about movies like
Yeah.
that because they're becoming blonde. But it's like it's so funny because they actually make movies with those about those characters without those characters even being in it as well, which is crazy to think about, but it works. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why they didn't get on my list, but it's not saying bad about it. I want to say that. Even my honorable
Yeah,
mention.
for me,
because
like
I
I
couldn't
said, it
put
was
it
harder to find that separation. I wanted to try to stay away from anything possession or demon
Yeah, that's
on my
exactly-
list, right?
yeah.
So
I mean, The Exorcist would have made my list.
of
it's
course,
one of the
yeah.
greatest horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep naming things because No, first of all, scary movie 2. Your mother's in here with us, Charles. Mom, what are you doing in here?
Oh man, Elizabeth.
Scary
so
movie
fun.
too. I am your daughter.
He just when he's taking his shit and all the flies are in the bathroom.
Get out of me, demon.
Okay, so
David Cross.
yeah. The Uninvited, I have.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Okay, I'll just say my last one, and then you guys can get whatever else you have.
Sure.
The
I think
Changeling,
The Changeling. I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
both versions.
I don't think I've seen it. I might have it. Don't know. The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember what it's about.
There's original version is pretty good. I couldn't tell you any names off the top of my head. I'm not good with names, as everyone knows. The second one has Angelina Jolie and is directed by Clint Eastwood.
No, never seen that. No.
It's where her son goes missing.
Oh, I remember
and
the trailers.
then the son just shows up again, but it's not really her son. It's
What about
just-
something like-
Okay.
What about something like The Orphanage?
Okay,
The Orphan.
that was the one I have.
Yeah, but that's not a demon. That's just a killer kid. That's an adult that looks like a kid. The Omen is actually that's like a demon.
No, the Omen is the spawn of Satan.
Yeah.
Down, Damien. What are you doing, Damien?
But I was about to say, please don't say anything about the orphanage or the orphan, because I've not seen that movie yet, and I was actually going to watch it this weekend because I was like, oh, I need to watch that once I was doing this list.
So go.
And realizing it, yeah, I'm still going.
Yes, watch it.
There's a part 2 coming out.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't don't have anything else.
I'm done too. Yeah, I got my list. Yeah, I kept mine very bare because the fact that I strictly stuck with like hauntings and ghosts.
Which I think is what we should do here, because we should keep the list more focused. So we do get a little goofy at times.
Well, there's so much of when it comes to demons
but there's so much crossover too, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, exactly.
That's why I think
you have to be kind of lenient.
Yeah,
but we did stick basically to it
for the most part. Yeah,
me and Putty kind of had a couple of up in the air ones, but I don't. But
even I had one too. Like you said, I know you said no horror comedies, but The Frighteners I wouldn't really. It's kind of it's kind of straddle. It's not supposed to be a comedy, but it's comedic elements to it, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not like say, I don't know, Ghostbusters, where it's a horror comedy.
Well, to me, I think it's meant to be like the way he made the movie, or the way the movie is written, is meant to be darker. But the way that's what's his name?
Michael J. Fox?
No, the director, the guy who made Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson. The way Peter Jackson directs it and the performances he gets out of the actors makes it feel like a comedy.
That's kind of like that one in my eyes is in the same realm of like Cabin in the Woods, where it has that really
Cabin in the Woods is like a really strange movie that's supposed to straddle the line of all the genres of horror.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. It has that comedy and all the genres, but I'm saying it has that comedy horror feel where it literally goes dark.
That one I like the first one.
The comedy in that movie is there from start to finish.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's not as subtle as it is in Frighteners. It's a lot more prominent.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
But I agree with what you're saying, buddy. So anyways, that's it. This video's over, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check them out on their channel. Their stuff will be below. And click right here to get Stuckmanized.